All right, so Apple decided to drop a nuke on us at 8 o'clock tonight. Last night? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys everything you missed, what you need to know, and a few of my thoughts about the new MacBooks with M3 chips, the spooky Apple campus, and one secret bomb they dropped on us right at the end of their presentation. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video for that. Let's get into it. First things first, we got a super spooky Apple campus, which if you haven't seen any of Apple's events before, their production value is always off the chain, which I can appreciate because, you know, it's kind of my thing. Anyway, this is the first time we saw an Apple event at night, and quite frankly, it was really cool. Very timely, given Halloween is literally today, and Apple's whole marketing scheme this time around was scary fast, which perfectly leads us into the first topic, M3. This is something we all knew was coming, but didn't know just how much faster these new chips would be, and well, here's what we got. 3 new M3 chips, M3, M3 Pro, and M3 Max. Sadly, no Ultra announcement, but I expect we'll see that for the next Mac Studio sometime next year. The big to-do this time around is the 3nm process. There's a lot of 3s this time, by the way, which basically means Apple is squeezing more and more transistors in a smaller space, giving us more room for more performance and, more importantly, more efficiency. They then immediately touted the new GPU as being, of course, the largest leap forward, but more importantly announced dynamic caching, which basically optimizes the GPU workload per task so that instead of just throwing more power at the tasks like you do, these new GPUs will not only be more powerful, but they'll be smarter in how they're being utilized on a per task basis, making them pretty stout for gaming. Yes, gaming. It felt like Apple really wanted to brag about how these new GPUs can now handle mesh shading and real-time ray tracing, much like you'd find on a more traditional graphics card from Nvidia or AMD. This is super exciting, because I mean, gaming on a Mac? That's a wild thought, and with these new M3 chips, we are even closer to seeing more AAA games running natively on Mac hardware and software. Oh, and all this new fancy GPU tech is transparent to devs, which I assume just means they'll have access to how it works so they can optimize their games to run more efficiently. I'm all for gaming on Mac, by the way. For years, I feel like it's Mac for work, PC for play, at least for my workflow, and potentially moving to Mac OS for gaming in the future kind of has me excited because, to be honest, Mac OS, in my opinion, is a better experience than Windows right now. But hey, all that can change, so take it with a grain of salt. All right, so enough about the GPU. Let's talk about the next topic, the CPU. According to Apple, the M3 chips have 30% faster performance cores and 50% faster efficiency cores while maintaining the same efficiency, which translates to more performance without a huge, if any, increase in power consumption. Apple claims that in fact, M3 can perform as well as M1 at half the power, which is kind of insane. A common comparison, by the way, they very rarely compared M3 to M2, but instead comparing M3 to just M1. Something to keep in mind if you're rocking an M2 like me right now. They of course showed some super arbitrary graphs, as they do, but in any case, it's more of a showcase of how efficient these new chips are, which for the MacBook is really important when it comes to battery life, but more on that in a second. Additionally, the M3 chips now have an AV1 decoder, which is great given how the industry is slowly moving away from HEVC to make room for AV1 video streaming. And if you don't know what that means, you don't really need to worry about it, but it essentially means more efficient video streaming at higher quality with lower compression. So let's quickly break down each new M3 chip. First, you have the plain Jane M3, which has 8 CPU cores and 10 GPU cores and can support up to 24 gigabytes of Apple's unified memory, which, if you forgot, basically is a shared pool of memory that can be used by both the CPU and or the GPU. The M3 Pro gets 12 CPU cores and 18 GPU cores and can support up to 36 gigabytes of unified memory. And finally, the M3 Max has 16 CPU cores and 40 GPU cores and can support up to a monstrous 128 gigabytes of unified memory, like on the Mac Studio, which is absolutely nuts. Tell me I don't need it. Please, I'm begging you. I swear, if these new MacBooks come in an all-new black design, I am so they finally did it. So, moving on to the new MacBooks, now available in space black. Thanks, Apple. All right, so there's technically two models here, the 14-inch and the 16-inch. The 14-inch can come equipped with the base M3 and starts at a new price of $1599, which is insane for the value, in my opinion. If there's a student in your life, or hell, if you're a student, this is the one you buy. In black, of course. Starting price for the 14-inch Pro with M3 Pro is $2,000, and with M3 Max is $3,200. The 16-inch M3 Pro starts at the same $2,500 as it did before, or as the M2 Pro did, and with the M3 Max is $3,500. They're all on sale at the time of writing this, but expect to see the base M3 and M3 Pro models show up first on November 7th, and the M3 Max models to show up about a week later on November 14th. All right, but let's talk about that new space black. Yes, please. I don't know what it is about deep black or matte black electronics, but we've been waiting for a truly black MacBook for a long time. So to finally get it on Halloween of all times is kind of dope. It's not just a black laptop. It's a special breakthrough in chemistry black laptop. Or so Apple says. I'm not sure what mumbo jumbo Apple was on when they said this new black color was a breakthrough in chemistry, but hey, if it's gonna leave less fingerprints and be more durable, I'm all about it. I can't wait to see it in person, especially with the blacked out keyboard. Dude, so sick. You know what else was sick? Apple dropped an absolute bomb on us at the end, letting us know that the entire keynote was shot on an iPhone. Crazy. I told you guys, the new iPhone Pro with ProRes log doesn't play. If you haven't seen my review, go watch it after this video. Absolutely nuts that Apple filmed their fancy keynote using their own product. That's a power move only Apple could make. Also, can we talk about that subtle stab to Intel toward the end? Like, damn, Apple, Intel hasn't put a chip in a Mac since like 10th gen. Yet, you're out here like,
the new M3 is 500 times faster than the fastest Intel Mac.
Like, bro, we get it. But in all seriousness, if you're still on an Intel Mac, let me be the first, or maybe the 500th person to tell you that it is so worth upgrading to an M series MacBook. Even if you go for an M2 model, I promise you'll see a huge difference. And with Black Friday around the corner, you'll probably find some amazing deals on M2 MacBooks, so keep your eyes peeled. Speaking of Black Friday, I'm working on my Black Friday tech gift guide. If there's a gadget or tech accessory you absolutely love and can't live without, please share it below to possibly be featured in that video when it goes live. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, and as always, make sure to subscribe to see more content like this. I upload here on YouTube about once a week, as well as some short format content over on X, TikTok, and Instagram. So make sure to follow me at xxiv_concept. That's 24 concept. Learn your Roman numerals. All right, I've got more work to do, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, yeah, and they refreshed the regular iMacs with the new base M3, but let's be real. The iMac is a kitchen PC, and I stand by that. Fight me. Also, happy spooker. Now look, I'm a spooky guy. Ooh.